Well, guys, I'm human, and I made a mistake. I'll be the first one to admit it. You know, I took stuff out to the scrapyard and scrapped it the other day. Well, there's things not working in this door that I need out of the original door. So I called the scrapyard. Nobody picked up. I left a message. Hopefully they'll get a hold of me. I said, I'll buy the door back off of you. I need the airbag sensor and the power door lock motor, because this one is just not operating. And the door handle's different. What's up, dudes? On this episode, we're going to do a Copart Walkaround. I know you guys love it. And I'm going to a different location. So, I'm excited for that. I'm going to show you where my progress is on the gym, because we are so close to hitting the finish line on it, and it looks fantastic. And we're going to throw the cat on the Lancer, all kinds of stuff going on. So stay tuned. So first off, my name's Todd, and this is Unwrecked. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. All this contributes to my builds and helps me do what I do. Also, I'm not sure if you do, but if you really like me, I have merch. It's right below. You can click on my Teespring page there. I have all kinds of items. I just updated them. New stickers, new shirts, and the prices are way lower. I'm going for, like, just trying to get myself out there, minimum profit off of my items. So, right now is the time, because if stuff does sell good, then I will slowly increase the prices. But as for right now, I want everybody to have some Unwrecked gear. So, consider buying something. So, and I also busted this, but I kind of, like, fixed it. But the power door locks, you can hear it, it's operating the locks. Look, it's not operating this door. The window works. This handle is chrome. The rest of them are like brushed aluminum. And the airbag sensor is like impact sensor. It's right in this area. And it's giving me a fault code on the dash saying that it's reading abnormal. So this one is not working. I did not have an airbag light before I replaced this door. It will be resolved if I can get the original door back. But the lines, man, look at the gaps. Now the bottom doesn't line up on the fender because it's not bolted yet. But looks good there. Hood lines, like everything looks good. Really good. But that just sucks. So, I have some things to do this weekend, but we are painting the gym starting tomorrow. So, there's some things I'm not going to get done right now. That, you know, it is what it is. I jumped the gun, and I shouldn't have scrapped that while I was still working on this, and that's just what I pay for it. We're shifting this video. I was supposed to go look at a truck as a project. I was on Facebook Marketplace. The guy was barely messaging me back, and I never got an address or anything, and he won't message me back now. And it's still listed up for sale, so whatever. I'm not trying to deal with people that don't actually want to sell their stuff. So, I decided we're going to Copart. I'm going to a different location. It's a little further away, but it's a very nice place. I'm not going to say where, but I'm going to look at certain cars on an upcoming auction, which will be future for you guys. You won't get to see, like, the auction will be over, but I'm going to look at some different cars, a little bit higher budget cars, not like top of the line, just like Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff like that, Mercedes, BMWs, just nothing big. So I said it in the last video, and I want to say it on this video too, before you guys get all over me, because my sound quality is horrible in this walk around. I got this new case from my GoPro. I threw it on there without testing it, and it muffled all my sound. I'm going to try to salvage what I can in this video, but that is the reason my sound quality is horrible during the walk around. So, my apologies. It's going to be fixed. I got the external mic adapter. We'll throw an external mic on this, and it'll be good to go with this adapter. But until then, we just won't use it. Alright, so getting closer to the area, it's raining, which sucks. I'll look at cars in the rain. It does suck, but I'll do it. Especially now that I have that GoPro 7 Black because it's waterproof. Most of the cars I wanted to come down here to look at have a V8 in them, with a common similarity. So that's exciting. I don't know if I've had a V8 on the channel. I don't think I have. No, the Ford F-150 was a V8, but besides that, I haven't really. These are all cars, so, and they're all different cars. They're not sports cars like you would assume with a V8 in a car. So it's going to be different. We'll say that. All right, guys and gals, we are at this other location that I've never videoed in here before. In fact, I've never walked the yard here. I've gotten several vehicles from here, but I've just never done a walk around because it's another hour from me compared to the other location. So, like, I don't normally just drive down here to look at vehicles, but they always have such a good selection. I was just like, I need to go down and look. I normally just buy sight unseen, and I don't recommend anybody doing that.
All right, we're doing a voiceover because I tried multiple times to get the audio right and it just wasn't happening. We do have some sound clips that actually ended up being decent, but here's our first car. As you see, maybe you don't recognize it, it's a Pontiac Grand Prix GXP. There's something special about this one because it's a V8. Yeah, should have had a V8, but yeah, I mean, they're a 5.3 liter front wheel drive, which is a little nuts to have a front wheel drive with a V8 slammed in the front of it. But yeah, basically the same exact car that I have in the garage right now. But yeah, a little bit more damage. We lift the hood here to look at the engine. Of course, I was messing with the latch here. Boom, there it is. All that V8 goodness. 5.3. I noticed that the valve covers were leaking, which looked like a pretty simple job. The front core support is all straight. The radiator, the AC condenser, all that stuff straight. It's just the front rebar. And then I looked at the suspension. It doesn't look like any of the suspension's bent. Like, and it's listed as a runs and drives. So we're gonna give her a good old fire up here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I kind of wanted to get one of these instead of a regular Grand Prix, obviously, because V8. But let's fire the thing up and see how it sounds. Hopefully it has battery power. I did just check the oil and the antifreeze. Has 106,000 miles on it. And fired right up. And it sounded good. It sounds real good. So I had to go back and look at the exhaust because the obvious, you can't just hear it, you have to go back and look at it. But dang, it sounded good. The motor, it sounds good. Nice and quiet, no taps. Normally you might get a little lifter tap, but yeah, wasn't bad. So I see a little bit of smoke here, and then when I came back and watched the footage here, when I rev it up a couple times, you notice a little bit of blue smoke coming out there, burning a little bit of oil. So that's something, if I didn't run the camera, I wouldn't have noticed because I didn't look back to see it. I was just looking at the gauges and stuff, but the motor did sound healthy. Might have a little bit of valve stem leak, but that's nothing serious. As you can see, it cleaned out after that little bit of smoke. But downside to this yard, it's good. Downside to this yard is they only give me 15 to 20 minutes to look around. I was gonna look at this Mazda 3. I knew it had significant damage. The quarter panel damage is pretty bad, to be honest. The door wouldn't open. There's more I want to get into right now. I might do jobs like that in the future. Ooh, that's a nice BMW. But they only give you 15 to 20 minutes to look around this yard, so I was like in a hurry, like trying to video and move and see this. I only had 3 cars on my list that I wanted to look at while I was there, and that's basically all the time I had. So the yard was pretty organized, but it's not quite as organized as the yard I normally go to. Reason being they only give you 15 to 20 minutes is because they said somebody was stealing keys out of cars. Why do people do that crap? Like, for real. What are you gonna do with a key? Sell it and get a couple bucks? Like, for real. eBay got the market on keys. So I'm gonna walk down through the yard here. The car I'm looking for is down near the end of this row. And here it is. It's an LS 400 Lexus, and I think it was a donor. Pretty sure it was a donor car. I could be wrong. No, it wasn't a donor car. It was light damage, but it was listed as a runs and drives, so I give it a look over. Not bad. Very reliable engines. Those LS 400s, man, they last forever. Interior was actually in really good shape for 179,000 miles. So, gonna go up and check the Earl. And fidget around trying to find the hood latch. Finally, success. And the hood struts are bad, so the hood won't stay up. So I propped it against my head. Got in, checked me some Earl. And it looks good. So let's go fire it up. Get a good exhaust clip here. Turn the key. Absolutely nothing. And with the time frame I was on, I didn't have time to go ask for a jump. So it was on to the next car. That car really wasn't worth that much. I wanted to look at it. I thought if I got it really cheap, yeah, but nah. Then I saw this. I remember I looked at it. I had it on my list. Getting to see it in person, you get to see things you didn't see in the listing. So I looked behind it right there, right below the taillight. Look at the rust. Both of them. Both sides had rust holes straight through the body. I was like, you couldn't see that in the pictures. So the yard is fairly big. I didn't even get to see the whole yard. So just walking down through the yard, there's a Fusion. It kind of looked like one I did in the past before I did my YouTube channel, but I didn't put a chrome grille in it. I put a black one, black billet grille. And I see the last car I was looking for. This white car is a 2007 Infiniti M45. This is the extent of the damage right here. The rest of the car looks phenomenal. Like body lines and stuff, everything looks good. Doesn't look like there's any suspension damage. Everything looks good. Interior is not that bad. The seat's got a little wear on it, but the car has some miles on it. So, I mean, you're gonna have wear. So I pulled the hood latch to pop the hood, but they had the hood taped down. And I was just like, screw it, I'm on a time frame, we're gonna start it up. Hit the push button, nothing. So the key was dead. So I ended up looking over to the left side, and they have one of those slots that you stick the key in if it's dead. So I tried that, and let's see how this works.
Here.
It clicks in.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm getting signal. Start button, fires right up. Man, it sounds good. That sounds really good. So start looking this car over, man. There's so many options, but I gotta get an exhaust clip, obviously. It's got a 4.5 liter V8. And as I was going back to the car, I noticed that the back rim has a dent in it. But I looked at it a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure they were running it that way. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So I put it in gear, made sure that it pulled and it didn't sit still like the transmission was out. Put it in reverse. Noticed it has a backup camera. This thing's got so many options, but So I started looking it over here. You got a big touchscreen. It's got dual climate control, heated and air conditioned seats, sunroof. So we checked it out. It worked. This thing is just loaded. Everything worked on it.
So I cut the tape because I had to see this.
And
this thing is freaking bone
it's missing some
dry.
plastic panels under the hood, but from what I hear, these 4.5 liters are pretty reliable. Air box is unbolted. I would say an insurance agent did that to see if there was any damage. The only damage I see is right here, this dog leg, and this is like the headlight support bracket from what I looked at, and it just bolts on back in that corner. So this is like actually a really nice car. If I can get this thing at the right price, man, I'll tell you, this thing is sweet. So since I'm limited on time,
so guys, I hope you liked my walk around video. It sucks that you're limited here, but I got to look at what I wanted to look at, and I see some really good options. So some you might not got to see on the video. Since I was limited, I just hurried it through, but I'm excited for the auction, let's tell you that. Now, there are two really big differences between those cars, besides one being nicer than the other. The GXP is a pure sale, and the M45 is on approval. So that is a big factor in all this, because pure sale is what you win it for. On approval, they don't have to accept your bid. They can just say, no, that's not enough. They can come back with more. They're like, yeah, we want this, not this. So it sucks. I hate approval bids, but I can understand where, because like if I was selling something, I wouldn't want it to go for less than I want it for. But they get a little ridiculous with the amounts. It's a salvage car, and sometimes they're asking the salvage price for them, like what you can get out of it after it's reconditioned. So you got to keep that in mind whenever you're bidding on cars. But yeah, that's going to be a big factor in all this.
So this leaves Tuesday. The cat's supposed to be here tomorrow. Went over. We'll slap it on. And the kid's coming Tuesday. I did reinforce my lift like I wanted to. I told you, look how high these legs, these anchors are sticking up. I cleaned the holes out, but they still just did not want to go in. So these are longer legs. The concrete's thicker right here. So I drove those down in. I drilled them deep, and then I used this long air tube to make sure every hole was cleaned out. Did it multiple times. You can see the back is black because I did rust converter on the bottom. I didn't do the top yet. Went ahead and lagged it on. I'm still not finished at this point, but this is a good stopping point for right now. I'm doing triangles right here and 4 spots across here, so that this isn't, because you can see how much thinner metal I use than what the lift actually is. So with the little triangle reinforcements on there, this will be plenty sturdy. So if any of these anchors decided that they wanted to go, this is not going anywhere. So, and you can see it's bolted fast to the lift. There was already holes in it. So we're good to go. Here's the new cat. It's a 2-piece. What I was impressed with is I could not get the gasket off the one end. I just sent it the way it was. Well, it came with 2 new gaskets. As you can see, they provided me with a donut style gasket there. I ordered one because I was scared I wasn't going to get one, which this will be of good use, because the pipe that goes from the headers, there's a small piece of pipe that goes from the header to the cat, and it has a flange gasket just like this, and I think it's leaking because I could hear exhaust noise up there. I couldn't feel it, but we're going to go ahead and replace that. And then here's another gasket for where that pipe meets the cat at, right here. So they provided me with this one and the one that's already on it. Here is, I think it's like a, I don't think this is a cat. You can hear the noise difference. This sounds like this is just like a resonator. and this is the cat itself, which is smaller. This is very lightweight. Right there are the two locations for the O2 sensors, which is nice. There's a mounting point. Now, before I go and throw this exhaust on here, I do need to address this. This also very well could have been the problem, but like I said, the exhaust was raspy. It took a nasty hit underneath, so I figured the cat was probably shot. But you can see they're all tore up. They're still together. I couldn't find any breaks in them, but what I'm going to do is cut them off close down here to the sensor, replace the actual wire, solder it in with some shrink wrap, and then we'll tape them all up. Alright, so that took entirely way too long. I need to consider getting a new soldering iron. Got it all soldered up. Honestly, this probably was our issue. But somebody said, why didn't you unplug the O2 sensors? Well, let me show you. I was trying to. They go up into the floor. You have to remove the seats, the carpet, to get to the plugs. And this one, you just need to lift the carpet up underneath. So I did attempt to pull them out, as you can see. Got to put them grommets back up in, but that's why I did not pull the O2 sensors in. Yeah. Oh, they fit in there pretty tight.
That's what she said! Woo!
There you go. So, next, this is the pipe that comes off of the manifold. That gasket up in there, I want to replace. I don't know if, there we go. So I gotta get those two bolts out, which they look a little rusty. We'll shoot them with some PB blaster and get this pipe off. Alright, so I ran into my first dilemma. Now, I was putting this pipe up in here. Everything fits up nice, looks good. The hanger looked good and everything. Come to look at it a little closer. The stud, see, this is a bolt that goes through here. I still have it right there. But they welded a bolt in here, a stud. So I'm going to have to grind this off of here. Because it's not thick enough to go through the hanger here. So, yeah, they should have just left a hole in there like it was. I don't know why they did that, but that's what happened. I'm not really going to complain about that hanger because, I mean, like, for real, this thing fit up great for being a prototype. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to put an exhaust clamp. I almost feel like I should put a clamp on right there on that slip fitting. But I'll start the car up and we'll see if we have any leaks around it or not. It does fit pretty snug, and everything it fit up good. And as you can see, I put a bolt in there. It did kind of, the hanger's a little too far over, I would say. See how it's pushing on the rubber there, but not too bad. Now that they don't have the heat shields and stuff on there, I had to improvise and made a little bit of a hole right there on the carrier bearing housing, so that I had somewhere to tie the wire up around to get it off of everything, and I took it above the hanger right there. So, I mean, that kind of sucks, but whatever. It is what it is. It fits good for the price. And, I mean, it's practically brand new exhaust from front to back. Also, I did not use this gasket up front because it's a different size, so it didn't even fit anyways. So, oh well. We still... The gasket that was in there actually looked fine. So, I'm just assuming the noise I was having was from the old cat. But let's get this thing down. I gotta clean up my mess, and then we'll get this thing down and see if it quieted up and see if any check engine lights come on. I'll have to clear it. I know it'll take a while before the lights actually do come on, so I'm gonna have to drive it. It's downpouring, but whatever. He'll get a dirty car on Tuesday. That's all there is to it. First start up on the new exhaust. It's gonna smoke. PV blaster on the headers and stuff like that. It actually took a lot of the rasp out. It sounds a lot better. Sure does. So we took it out for a long drive, and she is good to go. She's dirty now, because it's raining, like it always is here. This isn't Seattle either. Not too dirty, though. Still looks pretty good. The back end's a little dirty, but, oh well. The kid's gonna get it dirty anyways. So, that's gonna be the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and I hope you could hear what I'm saying, because I'm gonna edit this after this, and I don't know how good the audio is gonna turn out. So, fingers crossed I can get it to where you can hear it, but I'm not expecting too much. Anyways, if you liked what you saw here, continue watching, because there's more coming of normal cars, because that's all I can afford. So if you haven't yet, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and maybe I'll see you on the next video? That's right, I was going to show you guys the gym. Let's end it up there.